Guys, I'm here to talk to you about our Patreon. Patreon.com/shades-and-sketch. We've got all kind of great content for you there you won't find in normal episodes. You can join and support the show for as little as $1 a month. At $5, you unlock all kind of exclusive content like episode voting, Patreon-only episodes, and exclusive artwork. On to this week's episode.
Oh, hello. I'm Sketch.
And I'm Shades.
And this is
Geeking Out with Shades and Sketch.
A mini episode.
Yeah. Halfway episode.
An
extended.
A halfling.
Oh, a halfling. I like that.
Yeah, it's a halfling. Guys, every time you join us, whether it's mini, full, or halfling, you join us in a different corner of the Geeking Out multiverse. Shades, where have we set up GOCO this week?
Sketch. This week, GOCO is once again traveling time and space. We are in 1423 Romania, I think.
It wasn't clear.
It was not clear.
On the GOCO dial.
It was not clear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But GOCO is set up in the subterranean archives of the Belmont family.
Yeah, we're getting our learn on.
We are. And I am just so impressed.
Stupefied.
With this ginormous dragon skeleton.
Architecturally beautiful in here.
Yes.
Wealth of knowledge.
Yeah. Oh.
Artifacts galore.
Yes. It looks like the maid hasn't been here in a while.
It's a little unkempt.
Yes.
But sometimes learning is messy.
Yeah,
that's all
true.
Sometimes
that is
learning
very
is messy.
true.
So, guys, if we are in the Belmont archives and we are learning messily, that must mean
we're talking about Netflix's.
Netflix's Castlevania, which was a listener request.
Yes,
actually, from the old FBs, the old Facebook.
Thanks for writing in,
and glad it was recommended because this one was not on my radar. Per se.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
Just get to it.
Let's get to it.
This is a halfling. So we just launch in.
How about some history?
Okay, let's do some history. You want my history? Because it's real easy.
Yeah. What's your history with Castlevania?
Listener wrote in and said we should do Castlevania. And so I watched it.
You never played any of the Castlevania games?
Never played the Castlevania games.
Oh, my goodness.
I knew of their existence, sure, but never played any of the games. So watching this and binging it in like 2 weeks, maybe even less, was my first and only history with Castlevania.
Do you want to borrow Castlevania PS3?
Sure.
It's actually a pretty good game.
Okay. Yeah. In my abundance of free time, I'll just pop that in.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. For sure.
How
many games are there?
Oh, there are dozens. There are dozens of games.
Okay. What's your history? I bet it'll be a little richer than mine.
I played the original Castlevania. Mm-hmm. Not well.
What was the original on?
NES.
Okay.
NES and computer.
Mm-hmm.
I was not good. Not a good experience. I was too young to be playing that game.
Your fault or the game's fault?
Totally the game. Totally
really?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
No, totally my fault. In a similar vein of when the first Ninja Turtle game, I was just too young to be playing it.
Yeah.
And just couldn't advance through the game.
Yeah.
And I played Simon's Quest on a friend's Super Nintendo. That was like the real standout game. But
too young for that one?
I didn't have an NES, so I could only, take my turn at my friend's house.
Yeah.
My Castlevania experience is Castlevania 64.
Okay.
Which is kind of an outlier, weird game. Because Castlevania had kind of transitioned to the PlayStation.
Okay.
Where
N64, great system.
Amazing system.
Yeah.
And I think Castlevania 64 was an amazing game because it was the first Castlevania game. I think it was one of the very first games that it was, camera over the shoulder, 3-dimensional, and and you're progressing and following the character, and you have to follow your whole environment, be aware of your environment.
Yeah.
And all of the other games were side scrollers.
Okay. Gotcha.
So that was my intro, and I tried to play some of the other Castlevania games, but I couldn't get into it because I had started with over the shoulder 3-dimension, and I just
it's hard to go backwards.
Could not go back to the platformer.
I've played some of the the Zeldas, and
It's
again,
difficult.
it's hard. It's
really
hard
hard.
to wire your head to go backwards like that.
Right.
Yeah, I agree.
And I played Castlevania PlayStation 3, and
Is that the latest game?
that is the latest game that they've come out with.
Okay.
So
How long ago was that? I mean, it's PlayStation 3, so it's years.
it was one of the last games I feel like they released, like maybe 2013,
Okay.
2012, 2013, somewhere in there.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then when this series was recommended to us, had you already watched it?
I was aware of it almost immediately.
Yeah.
And was excited for it. And overall, I was pretty impressed with it.
Yeah.
Castlevania history?
I would love
Sure.
some Castlevania history.
Castlevania was introduced in 1986. The original installment takes place in Dracula's eponymous castle in a side-scrolling adventure that focuses on the Belmont clan of vampire hunters. Symphony of the Night sees Dracula's son, Alucard, awaken from his slumber to explore the castle in the first non-linear exploration-based game.
Cool.
So it was not quite a sandbox, but it was also non-linear side-scrolling. You could go back to the castle, the main entry of the castle, and pick a different area that you could.
What was that one called?
Symphony of the Night.
And that's not the first game.
No, but that's the first game to introduce Alucard.
Okay.
There have been close to 24 Castlevania games.
Wow.
And the PlayStation 4 is the first system that does not, or I shouldn't say PlayStation 4, but this generation of console gaming is the first one to not have a Castlevania game.
Any plans out there?
I'm not aware of any.
Okay.
Maybe with the success of the
Netflix
animated series, there will be. Now, the show began development in 2007 as a movie. And it sat in development hell until 2015 when Netflix picked up the rights. The art is heavily influenced by Symphony of the Night, and a 10-episode third season has been greenlit.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
So we will be getting season 3.
Because there's a big climax.
There's a
season
big
2.
climax to season 2.
Yeah. Okay. And it ends nicely.
It really does. It's I like that they gave it an end. And that's kind of like a trope of Castlevania where like you meet a character, you're introduced to a character, you go on an adventure with this character, and then that character's stories end because they're human and Dracula is immortal. And you follow a different character in that line.
Yeah.
So I have a big question about that at the end.
It's again like Zelda.
Yeah.
Different links.
But I feel like that was not always abundantly clear.
No. But it's been kind of
established
into
I feel like that wasn't always a thing with like the Castlevania things.
It's always
with the exception of the first 2 games, you're always following a different member of the Belmont family.
Okay.
And I should say what was really cool with Castlevania 64 was you had a Belmont descendant. The character was Reinhard Schneider. So not even named Belmont.
Schneider.
Yes.
It's very German.
Yes. And I think this Castlevania took place in like Eastern Germany.
Gosh.
Kind of out there. And then the other character that you played as was kind of like a speaker. And she had the same kind of magic that the speakers had.
I want to talk about the speaker soon. So
Sure.
Let's get into this.
Scores? All right. IMDb gives Castlevania, the Netflix series, an 8.1.
Do they tie together the seasons like it's the whole thing?
Yeah, whole thing.
8.1 for the whole thing.
Whole thing. Rotten Tomatoes, 90% critic score.
Wow.
89% fan score.
Rare that they are that close.
Yes. Google reviewers, 94% of Google reviewers love Castlevania, and I gave it a 96.
Put me on the spot here.
I am.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. Because I just finished it, so I haven't even written notes. So I'm shooting from the hip. On this episode.
I've done that a few times.
Yes, you have. I will give it I'll give it a 90.
Great.
I'll give it a 90.
That's a great score.
Yeah, it's very good. Very, very good.
Yeah. And we can unpack
Let's unpack it.
that a little bit.
Yeah, let's unpack it.
Synopsis?
No. Let's, go ahead. Go ahead.
1476. In a world without the Belmonts or Dracula, mankind has forgotten the terrors that once plagued it. But when the Wallachian church, that's where it takes place, Walachia.
Is that a real place?
Yeah, I think it's a province in Romania. It's like one of the, it's like one of the provinces.
Okay.
I think that is like the traditional place where the Dracula story takes place.
Sounds like Lucas's last name on Sequest.
Lucas Wallachian.
Yeah, exactly.
When the Wallachian church burns Lauren Tepesh at the stake for witchcraft, this rouses Dracula from his years-long self-imposed exile and returns darkness upon the land.
Mm-hmm.
Only Trevor Belmont, last of the Belmonts, and Sypha, a speaker, traveling storyteller with magical powers, and Alucard, Dracula's half-human, half-vampire son, can defeat the Dark Lord and rescue the world from genocide.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Love it. Yes. Yeah, that sums up the... Yeah, that's good. That's a good synopsis.
Thank you.
You should start writing synopsises.
I should.
Yeah. So even though this is a mini, we're going to do like mini rants and raves?
Yeah.
Okay, let's just...
I think it warrants it.
Yeah, it does. It does.
I have two rants.
Let's start with raves, though. We like to start with the
let's start with
positive. Let's start with the positive.
Sure. Do you want to go first?
No, you go first because it's fresh for me, so I'm probably going to be jumping in on some of these.
First rant. First rave. Trevor, Sypha, and Alucard. They're great characters. They're all strong characters. They're all broken in different ways. And they're all traveling together. And that's just great writing and storytelling. So like Alucard is like the kind of like the goth. Mm-hmm. Like everything is awful. Everything's depressed. Mm-hmm. Sypha is like the upstart, the plucky kind of, nothing can get her down. Mm-hmm. Nothing can like phase her. She's like just resilient. And Trevor is kind of like the down on his luck drunk, finding his way to redeem his family. Yeah. Like archetypes.
Yeah. It is, you know what it's very reminiscent of?
I think you're going to tell me in a minute.
I think they were Team 7.
Team 7.
A Naruto.
Oh, yes. Yeah, Team 7.
But not specifically the Team 7 that we know, Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura. But if you look back at the old version of Jiraiya, Tsunade and Orochimaru, they are very, very similar to that team.
Yeah, they are. Mm-hmm. Great observation.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I am full of them. Did you think I was going to tie this to
Naruto?
I
did not.
Did I even prepare that? No. That was organic.
It was fantastic.
Farm fresh, folks.
There's a farm fresh rave.
Thank you.
It's another shirt.
Yeah.
Farm fresh raves. And I just made this little note of the interplay with the characters. Alucard says, your family's sitting on a magic door. And Trevor says, just shut up. And they're translating it. It means death. It's a magical door of death. Like, are you coming down or not? It's just like, it's great writing and the interplay of these characters.
I will agree. The relationships between the three of them
it's just perfect.
On point.
Yeah.
I'll agree.
There's no damsel. There's no hero. There's no, like, they all have a strength. And it really is like evolving from a video game in like a multiplayer video game or an RPG, they all have their component of the fight. They all have, like, one's a range fighter, one's a close encounter fighter, one's a meta.
Yep.
And it really works those archetypes well. And it reminds me of, remember the Teen Titans game?
Yeah.
Teen Titans Go game? Not Go.
The original Teen Titans game, yeah.
Where it was, you could play fall players. Or you could play as one and just switch between the Titans. Yeah. When it called for a different thing.
Yeah.
It really reminded me of that.
They are all strong characters, well written, well developed. I can't stand Alucard. Yeah, and that archetype in multiple, like
Not your
you
favorite.
see it a lot, especially in animes. Like
Yes.
I just do not care for that. They're not fun for
So
me
they
to
did.
watch.
So they did it well.
So they
because
did
you
it
just
well.
Don't like it
because
across
I
all forms
still,
of
I still don't like it, but I
genre.
did really like his relationship with Trevor.
Yeah. Was fun.
Loved Trevor, absolutely loved Trevor, and really like Sypha. So my hierarchy is Trevor first, with Sypha in a close second,
Yeah.
and then Alucard way down.
And I will, with the exception of the way down, I'll agree with you in terms of my favorite.
And maybe
characters.
not way down, but there's a bigger gap between Sypha and Alucard
Yes.
than there is between Sypha and Trevor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a?
Yeah, let's talk about Sypha for a second.
Sure.
Okay, let's not talk specifically about Sypha, but it's hard not to because I want to talk about magic.
Yes.
Because
That's your jam.
she's the only character that we see perform magic,
Yes.
even though magic exists in this world. The way they do magic in this series is fantastic.
Yes.
Like the way she's like almost like scribing in
Yes.
the air and creating things that way. It's not just like fire blasts out of the fist.
Right.
There is.
It's not an incantation.
Yeah, like there is some legitimate like dexterity involved.
Right.
With the way magic is made.
They set up. They don't come right out and say it, but there's like the sight mirror that they use that Alucard has to recast some of the runes.
Yeah.
There's enough of it there that you make the connection that Sypha is scrying in the air those runes whenever she does magic.
Yeah, exactly. And I like that. Like,
Yes.
that's a strong magic system when there is like a physical requirement.
Yes.
So like if you think of shows like Avatar: Last Airbender,
Yes.
or you think of shows like Full Metal Alchemist,
Yep.
or even Naruto, because we brought
Right.
it up already, like it demonstrates in a more relatable way to the audience, like the real skill, the real work
Right.
behind magic, which
Now,
other
you're
things,
born with magic.
yeah, with other things will like give a character a wand or just specifically just come out of fists or
Right.
whatever.
Fire blast.
And in,
Hadouken!
and in this one, we're watching her. I mean, it's she fits basically perfectly into the role of mage in World of Warcraft.
Yes.
Because she has fire spells, frost spells, and she has like a teleport.
Yes.
Right. And the way she uses them is so cool, especially the ice. You know, I'm a sucker for ice powers.
I know you're a sucker for ice powers.
But the scene, guys, we're gonna spoil some Castlevania right now. I just caught myself real quick. The big culminating battle at the end before they fight Dracula, when they're fighting like all of his generals.
Yes.
And she does that big sheet of ice, and then the whatever vampire that she's fighting just jumps on top of it and starts running towards her.
Yes.
But it's like razor thin, so all she does is lifts it up
and slices it in half.
Unique. I haven't seen that.
I haven't either.
And that was sweet.
Made like a razor blade out of ice. That was
and
awesome.
she like projectile icicles.
Yes.
and so it's great, and it's taking effort for her to make these things,
Right.
And so I appreciate her role that much more.
I know you're a sucker for ice powers.
I'm a sucker for ice powers.
And that was very cool. But what really cemented her as a character and her magic abilities when she grounded the castle, when she first pulled the castle.
Oh, that was huge.
To the Belmont. So like basically right above us.
I loved that.
And then broke the workings of the castle and forced it to stay in place forever.
And again, this relates exactly to what I'm talking about with the magic, seeing the effort. I like that the castle fought back.
Yes.
And you saw the struggle. And it wasn't just, I'm making this incantation, and when it goes off, it's done.
It's done. She fought the castle.
Yep. And I love that.
Yeah.
It was like fishing. It really
was like reeling in a fish.
Like deep sea fishing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
That's a great rave.
Thank you.
It looks beautiful.
It does look beautiful.
The specifically the anime style, but just the animation of old. Mm-hmm. It looks like it reminded me of when I was watching it, like Mysterious Cities of Gold or Vampire Hunter D, or like even G.I. Joe or Akira. It's just like that classic style of anime that we're kind of moving, or even just animation that we're moving away for. And I'm sure they did it with computers, but it looked like the old hand-drawn
Yeah, it looks genuine.
animation
and
style.
It is gorgeous, and the color palette is perfectly appropriate.
Yeah.
Like at all times, because it does change depending on the scenery. But I don't know. I'm always noticing color, and when things don't jive and when things just work.
It all
seamlessly.
fit,
and this one fit really well. Can we talk about Trevor for a second?
Sure.
I love Trevor.
Okay. What specifically about him do you love?
I love that he is. How do I phrase this? He is.
Think of your subject, and then
Trevor?
your action verb.
Okay.
A descriptor. Maybe an adverb or two.
Okay. He's a sexy motherfucker. No, I love that he is. He's kind of like disgruntled. He's disgraced. He is.
He's just a
given up,
bumbling vagabond.
Yeah.
He's a drunk.
And I love that. And we've seen that in other things.
Yes.
And it's usually an act.
Yes.
It's usually
this is not an act. He is actually a bumbling drunk.
That's how I get you off guard. No.
Right.
He's actually given up. He's kind of like sworn off his family.
Right.
And everything. Because the world swore off them.
Yes. They have been excommunicated from the church.
Yep.
Their home is burned to the ground. His parents are murdered for heresy. Like, they are essentially burned at the stake, from what you're led to believe.
Yep.
And the world believes him to be dead.
Yeah. And I like a character that's given up.
Yeah.
Like honestly given up, and not like.
Did you ever read
shrug.
the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen comics?
No, I've only seen the movie.
Yeah. In the that's Alan Quartermain in the comics. Like,
we should do that movie.
We should. Not a great one, but we should do it. I enjoy it.
That's why I want to do it.
Yeah, I enjoy it, but it's not. When you read the comics, it's not. It doesn't hold up well. But it's like Alan Quartermain in the comic is. They don't find him in a hunting lodge in Africa. They find him in an opium den. Yeah. Like, just given up.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah, those are the characters I really like, because that's where the growth is. And I think, I don't want to get deep here, but I've been there before. And I find that far more relatable than someone who is just innately a hero and just starts off like at zero. I want to see someone start off in the negatives. And work their way up into the positives. Yeah, back to zero and then surpass
into the positives, yeah.
And that's Trevor. He starts way in the negatives.
Sure.
Doesn't he get peed on in the first? He gets like his ass kicked hard in the bar. He's winning for a while, but then something happens.
Purposefully he gets like hit on the head from behind.
Yes.
And they throw him out into the street.
Yes.
And in the street,
and then he comes
like
back
feces.
Yeah. Yeah. That was it. Yeah,
because
he smells like he smells like piss.
Yeah.
I wanted more
of that
of season 1, which was just 4 episodes.
Yeah.
I have that note. Is that a rant?
That's a rant for me.
Oh, okay. Do you have any more raves then?
I have lots of raves.
Okay, keep going on raves. We'll talk about that later.
Sure. The story between the 3 of them, but then specifically the story between Trevor and Cypher.
Yes.
Because he does start in the negatives and works his way back to zero. And he's been ignoring a lot of things, and not just the supernatural. Like, when he sees that the church is, like, in Walachia is going after the speakers just because they're different, he decides to help them.
Yeah.
Like, will you? And he's like, just leave. And he's not going to like wage a war for them and fight for them, but just leave.
Yeah.
Like, we can't leave because my granddaughter's missing. If I bring you back your speaker's body, will you leave?
He's not begging them, but he's bargaining with them.
He's bargaining with them. How do I get you to leave? Because I could save you, but I don't want to have to save you.
Yeah, I'm not going to fight a war for you.
Right.
Just leave.
Well, I think it's more of, I will have to fight a war for you if you don't leave, and I don't want to.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that.
Right.
I mean, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah. Well, and then the yin to that yang is Sifa.
Yes.
In that, Trevor starts off in the negatives and brings it back up. She starts herself off in the positives,
right,
and then has to get grounded because it's like unjustified
she's like
positives.
flying in like the 90s.
Yes,
and like
and
they have to pull her back down to the 20s.
Yes, because it's all groundless.
Yeah.
Like her high and mighty act is based on
nothing
other than like
Right.
pretension.
Yes.
And so what makes them such a good pair of characters, romantically or not, is
Right.
just how they both bring themselves closer to that midpoint.
Yes.
And I think that's why Alucard for me like doesn't do it as much, because he plays off the characters really well, but he isn't.
Well, there's something otherworldly about him.
Yeah,
he's more Dracula than Lauren.
Yeah, and I mean, and
he wants to be Lauren, but he's never been around humans.
And that's I guess what I needed. Well, we're not on rants yet. I'll save that for rants if I remember it.
Sure.
But so the way those two even each other out.
Yeah.
Like really perfect.
And they have just a beautiful story, and not even a romantic story. But they did a great job. So often movies and television shows that last for decades, they rush it.
Mm-hmm.
And in a 13 episode series,
mm-hmm.
I mean, actually I think it's less than that. I think it's only 10 episodes.
No, it's more than that. If you count the 4 from season 1, season 2 I think is like 11 episodes.
Okay.
So I just watched
it's very
recently.
it's
very
it's
short.
a mini series.
It's very short.
It's a mini series, right? So
completely doable.
Yeah.
Like in a weekend.
Yes.
Bang it out.
Yeah, you can bang it out in a weekend.
Yeah.
I thought they did such a great job with the progression of they're strangers,
mm-hmm.
they don't like each other,
mm-hmm.
they need each other, they complement each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're a good team.
Yeah.
To like let's just do this forever.
Yeah.
Like let's go on adventures.
Yeah.
And like and when we leave them they're progressing towards romantic love.
It could definitely go in that direction.
Yeah.
It also could definitely not go in that direction.
Right.
They didn't have like a meet cute. Like this didn't start off.
That was exactly they did not.
Oh, she's beautiful.
She is.
Instead, it was like, oh, you're a girl.
Well,
of course, you're a girl.
I'll one up you there. She's dead.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She is dead.
Spoilers. She is dead when Trevor meets her.
Yeah. Frozen stone, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
By a cyclops. Guys, there's a cyclops in this,
and I like that he's like. Because I was suspicious of the grandfather because he was always saying grandchild.
Grandchild.
He was always saying grandchild. And I was like, this is going to be a chick.
Like, oh, you're a girl.
And then so when he's like, yeah, of course.
Right.
Like it was more of a nuisance for him instead of like, what do my eyes behold?
Right,
you know?
yeah.
And I love that. It was perfectly Trevor.
Yes.
What I expect of Trevor.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
That was my last rave. Other than like did you have one? You were going to say?
I was going to end it just with like the I often call it choreography. Like, even though it's animation, it's supposed to be planned out.
Right.
Like the way these moves are going to work.
Yes.
And all the fight scenes are really stupendous.
Beautiful.
They're so engaging.
In a way that a lot of shows aren't. Like, Avatar: The Last Airbender progressed to that, like in the first season.
Not so much.
Not so much. It progressed, but this was well planned out and is so intricate, so detailed. You could say it's fan service,
and not
the way it's done, but it's all with purpose.
See, and that's why I would say it's not fan service. It's fan service to us because like we just want product.
Right.
Product over profit.
Exactly.
We want that beautiful stuff. But like fan service is to me.
We want the rich stuff.
Fan service is like the easy way.
Yeah.
Let's take the easy way to get the biggest reaction.
Exactly.
And this is like the hard way, and some people might not even appreciate it.
Yes. That's a great way of thinking about it.
But
you and I, yes, we appreciate it.
We really appreciate it.
Yes.
The way Trevor fights, not to keep bringing it back to Trevor, but I gave Siffa her due. I love that.
It's all necessity.
It's necessity.
He's skilled, but he's given up and rusty.
And often, it's not working.
Yes.
Oftentimes.
And we love that.
Yes.
When it's like, one of the things that always upsets me is like, even when you do a Batman origin story, Batman always throws the batarang with. We never get a scene where Batman misses with a batarang.
Oh, sure.
You know what I mean? And it's like
it has to happen.
Of course, yes. You don't just start throwing batarangs.
No one's innately good at blade throwing.
Exactly. You don't hit the mark with your grappling hook every time.
Yep.
And we've often talked about this when we've like thought about creating things and storytelling that's missing, and this had it.
And you wonder why other properties like don't do that, because
it's so much more relatable.
It's so much more relatable. It brings you in so much deeper, and you have to imagine it's got to be a little bit easier to animate, even like. The scene where like Trevor like falls from one level to another, and instead of like doing like a roll and get back, like he into the falls. and you're like, I get that. That's completely believable. I would do.
Yes. That's me.
And why aren't we doing that?
There was a great moment. The first time we see him fighting with the whip. And one of the priests, he like whips his eye out.
Yeah, and he's like, I was aiming for the knife.
I was aiming for the knife. Like, oh, sorry. Sorry, friend.
That was the eyes just hanging there. So, guys, if you haven't seen this is a very gruesome, violent show. Which I'm not.
I have become very squeamish with this stuff.
Really?
I used to love horror movies and all of the gore and so like
and
like
see,
some of the stuff. Like
I'm getting to be the opposite. I'm starting to just.
You like the horror movies now?
No, I still don't like the horror movies. I don't like the suspense.
Gotcha.
But
you're fine with the gore.
Yeah, I'm getting okay with the gore because I'm shows like Walking Dead, Game of Thrones, Castlevania.
Okay, I'm with you.
Yeah, really.
You don't have many options.
I remember when I started Game of Thrones, like episode 1, I was like, oh my God. And like end of season 7, I'm like, oh, no one was split in half in this episode. And I watched their shells fell out like stupid. What am I watching? A kiddie show? This show, not a kiddie show.
Not a kiddie show. Longtime listeners, if you have children, do not let them watch this.
Hey guys, we're Chuck and Brad. We're two comedians who do the Chuck and Brad podcast, a pop culture podcast based out of Rhode Island.
We just wanted to let you know that we're going on a short comedy tour called Chuck and Brad Reimagine the Avengers.
It's our own comedic retelling of the original Avengers movie, and we're touring the shows the same weekend that Avengers Endgame comes out. So come get a refresher and a new spin on the original Avengers movie before you go see Endgame.
Thursday, April 25th, we'll be in Hartford, Connecticut at the CT Comedy Theater with BJ Quagan, Andrew Morgan, and Stosh Makita.
Saturday, April 27th, we'll be in New York City at the Pit Loft with Impractical Jokers tour opener Jiggy, Impractical Jokers writer Casey Jost, and UCB veteran Lisa Kleinman.
Sunday, April 28th, we'll be at Laugh Boston with John Tilson, Logan O'Brien, Tyler Swain, and Dan Hall. All event info and tickets at chuckandbradpodcast.com.
Every night we'll have the comics open up the show and we'll close with our live retelling of the Avengers.
And for a tiny bit of background, we've done the podcast for 10 years. We've had on great guests like Jeff Tremaine, the director of the Jackass movies, the bands Bowling for Soup, Less Than Jake, Real Big Fish, Big D and the Kids Table, and many, many more.
So come on out, support this very weird live comedy show, and hopefully more and more podcasts will start doing their own live alternative shows.
Once again, that's Chuck and Brad Reimagine the Avengers, New York City, Hartford, and Boston. See you at the end of the month. chuckandbradpodcast.com.
That's the other. I know I'm off the rails a lot here, but that's the other disservice to cartoons and animation. Like when everyone thinks that our cartoons are for kids, you're gonna let your kids watch some real fucked up shit.
Yeah.
If you're not screening it first,
right.
If you're just assuming cartoons are for kids, well, guess what? Little Billy's gonna see like some like appendages being ripped off and
people
blood
set
gushing,
on fire, demons munching on people's faces.
What about the baby? What about the baby?
Oh, the Forge Master when he was like doing bring the baby back to boy. Oh man, I just kind of got a little upset stomach there thinking about it. That was gross.
This is unrelated, but I'm hungry. But it's unrelated. Like it's unrelated. You just made me think of my stomach, and I'm like, oh, I wouldn't
eat anything that's down here, Sketch.
No, I would agree. Looks like it's been here for a little while.
Little too long.
All right, I mean, we could rave about this for a while.
Let's talk some rants.
Everything gets some rants.
Yeah.
So what are some rants?
Okay. 4-part season 1. What the fuck? 2 of the episodes were straight up filler. So if you're only going to do a 4-episode season 1, you can't put filler in there.
I'm basing this only on the fact that you shared not that long ago that this was a movie that was stuck in hell, and then they just basically took it and split it up into 3 parts. It was probably like an hour-and-a-half movie,
right?
And they're like, fine, we'll make it, but it has to be 4 half-hour episodes.
Right.
That's my assumption based on what you told me.
Sure. And then from that, they were greenlit.
And then they could make a legit
to
series.
do the series that they wanted to do.
Because then it feels like a series.
Right.
In season 2, it feels like a series.
Right. This got my nerd rage, and it's not even the show's fault, but do you remember in college when Battlestar Galactica first came out?
Yeah.
It was the Battlestar miniseries.
Yeah.
And it was only...
You were so pissed.
I was so angry.
You almost protested, because you were big into protests.
I didn't watch the show.
Yeah,
specifically because it was a miniseries.
It was a miniseries.
And it was only 3 episodes, and that's not a miniseries.
And then it just launched.
And then it launched a series, and I was like, no, fuck you, I'm out.
Yeah, it was sneaky.
Like, nerd
it was
rage.
Conniving. Yeah,
and I really enjoyed it. It was one of the
so mad.
It was early on in our friendship too, I feel like. We all crowded into my single.
Yeah. I do remember watching it with you.
Like watching it on my little TV.
Yeah.
I loved it, and then it ended.
And you're pissed.
I was.
Yeah.
I was so angry.
Did you ever finish Battlestar?
Similar. No,
Did you ever go back and finish it?
I never went back and watched it.
Any of it?
I saw random episodes here and there, and I never had any affinity to it.
Interesting.
I hated Starbuck. I hated the whole story when they were with like Athena and all that bullshit.
Okay, this isn't the Battlestar Galactica.
I hated Battlestar. Longtime listeners, that might end our relationship. I know. It's unforgivable. Sketch is your favorite. I know. I hated Battlestar.
Oh, I was their favorite long before this all came out. But I definitely had big problems with Battlestar. I wouldn't say I hated it, but I had big problems. But I can't talk about that because this is the Castlevania episode. This isn't the Battlestar episode.
So this got my nerd rage. It tapped into that.
Okay, so what happened?
Battlestar nerd rage.
What did? Oh, just the 4 episodes?
4 episodes, and then I had to wait months to get the series.
Would you have been less nerd ragey if it came out as a movie and then launched a series?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Because it's like false promises.
It's false advertising.
Yeah.
It's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
If they had done 1 hour-long movie or 1 2-hour-long movie, it was just Castlevania. It was a movie, and it hadn't been like part 1.
Yeah.
Or like season 1.
Yeah. There is a lot of gall calling it a season.
It is. It's an hour. It's 2 hours.
It is 2 hours of content.
And 2 of them are filler.
No, I'm with you. I'm not as angry as you, but I'm with you.
Yeah.
I get it. I personally, when we said we were going to do it, I was joyful to see it was 4 because I had a lot to fit in, and I was like, okay, I'll cram in another series.
God damn it!
It's 4 episodes. I can do this. And then season 2 comes out. I'm like, fuck. Okay, I didn't plan for this. I should have really looked ahead. Okay, but yes, I agree with you. I think movie, then season 2 is season 1. I like that.
Yeah.
Especially because season 2 is where the core group of characters starts.
Yeah.
We use the movie to establish everything, and then season 2 is their adventure.
I don't think Alucard appears on screen.
No, he doesn't.
His crypt opens at the end and we don't see him.
1, but Alucard is not part of season 1.
It's just a tease.
Yeah.
It's not a good tease.
I have a rant with a silver lining. We'll call it a rant with a silver lining.
Okay.
Can we do that?
Sure.
One of the things I did not like about season 2.
It's our show. We can do whatever we want.
We can do whatever the fuck we want. One of the things I did not care for in season 2
Guys, Sketch is taking off his pants. I don't know why. Makes for great audio.
Do whatever I want. Is that I didn't care. I didn't want to see so much about like the inner workings of
this is my rant.
The politics of Dracula's generals. You know, like if we're going somewhere with that, okay, but it was way too much. It was like way too much, and I didn't care. I was never invested in them.
Yep.
And like the 2 humans.
The Forge Masters. I did not need their story.
Yeah.
Save them for season 3.
And I feel like I missed a chunk because like I didn't understand one of their motivations. And I was like, should I go back and rewatch it? And I said, no, I don't feel like it. But what my silver lining is that I do like the I don't remember her name, but she's like the main female vampire.
Yeah, she's going to be
like
the villain in
yes.
3, obviously.
And I did like the culmination of her plan.
Yeah.
I thought her plan was very clever.
But you didn't
and I wasn't
need
expecting it.
all of the time that they gave to her to do that plan.
Did not need it.
It was too much time,
Yes.
too much exposition.
Yes.
And that's my rant. Needless exposition.
Yep.
And too many flashbacks of things that we've already seen, and too many characters. There's too many characters in season 2 with all of like the vampire inner workings.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you except for Bloodsbane or Gildan's Bane or whatever.
the Norse one.
Yeah, he was fun.
Yeah, he was fun.
But like
He was cannon fodder.
He was.
I mean,
He was just-
he was
yeah.
going to be the big death early in the season.
Yep.
Yeah. That writing was on the wall from the get-go.
Yes. So like, who cares about the vampire politics? Didn't need it. Didn't want it. And I get why they did the flashback in season 2.
Which flashback? are we
When
talking
we
about?
see Lauren's death again.
Oh, yeah.
Because you might not have watched part 1 to know what was happening. Like, I watched part 1. I didn't need to see an episode of that again.
Yeah, let's get into this.
Yeah.
Let's go further. I just personally wanted more demons attacking the city.
Yeah. That was the best part of the show.
That was the best part. And like fighting back.
Fighting back,
Like
yeah.
when Trevor and Sifa kind of rally everybody and defend against the demons
Grezia.
for a night.
The fight in Grezia.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
I want more of that.
Yep.
Instead, I got like, well, he's sneaking around over here, and
Right.
this Forge Master is aligning himself with her. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, who cares? And I'll just say, rather than all of that exposition, I would have liked to have seen more of the crypt and more of Dracula's castle.
Yeah.
Like the mechanic aspects of it. That was so amazing.
Yeah. Spoiler alert, guys. Dracula's dead.
Yeah.
I wanted to.
Well, like maybe because Dracula's never
Yeah.
dead. If
I
you played a Castlevania game, you know how that can go.
I wanted to explore more of this kind of relationship between, like almost like alchemic science
Yeah.
with like engineering. I wanted to see how
Well,
that.
what the show
works.
posits is all human knowledge has come from Dracula.
Mm-hmm.
Like in this world, the way they've set it up is all human knowledge has come from Dracula, and they're kind of positing that our understanding of the Roman Catholic deity is Dracula. But he's removed himself from the world. He's like, he doesn't care about humans. He doesn't care about the world. He's sitting in his castle. He just doesn't want to be bothered.
Yeah, I get it.
Like,
I
guys, like,
get it.
I could like murder and flay you. I'm done. I
He
don't
was
care.
so much more relatable in season 1.
He was.
That was his thing.
Yeah. And then he like meets this like brazen woman who just wants, you're like, teach me. Like, I'm not leaving until you, like, I walked past all the bodies on pikes. I'm here. Teach me.
Yeah.
And
That's true. He did put a lot of bodies on pikes.
Yep. And he just wanders the world as a nobody.
Yeah.
Like trying to like reacclimate himself to it. But
because she urges him
she
to.
urges, like reconnect to this world. You're timeless. You have so much to offer. Dracula, not a bad guy. Dracula in this universe, and okay, I'm going to go back to Raves for a minute. Dracula in this world is essentially Liam Neeson's character from Taken.
Yeah, very much so. He has a particular set of skills.
Yes, and
if you take his wife,
he's going to use
he's
them.
going to use them, and he's going to kill you all.
Yes.
Yep.
That's
That
it.
is very much. Is Taken a direct sequel? Is Liam Neeson a vampire?
Yes.
I'd watch that movie.
I would also.
I'd call it Staken. Thank you. Thank you. Here all week.
Ooh.
Here all week.
Try the veal. Try the veal, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, that Dracula I really liked.
Yeah. Season 2 Dracula, I didn't know that guy.
And he was like, he called all the vampires together, but then like
Then
pouted in his room.
Didn't never talk to them.
I guess because he just wanted them to do everything, except they weren't really doing anything.
I have a big question about that.
Any more rants then before we get into?
No, I'm done.
Yeah, because it was great. I agree. I wanted to see more in the archives.
Yeah.
I guess this goes back to Raves. I do like that we were in the archives for a while.
Yes.
Same thing. putting in the work. We're seeing the work that's getting put into this stuff. They didn't go in, one book was highlighted, and they go, oh, look at this. Here's the secret.
Fall in love with the archives and then destroyed it.
Mm-hmm.
And like they made you feel it.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
It was the series was so well planned.
It was.
And guys, it's livable.
Yeah, we're here.
You know, we've got some hard hats on.
Yeah.
But we're here.
It's fine.
We've got our hard hats and cups.
Learning is messy.
Learning is dangerous.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. If that's the one lesson of Castlevania, learning is dangerous.
No. The one lesson is bitches will get you killed.
Well, one lesson is learning is dangerous.
He was fine until he fell in love.
But she was fine until she learned the knowledge of Dracula. It got her killed.
Yeah.
Learning is dangerous. And or
bitches get you killed. Yeah. Thug life.
Yeah, that should be your motto.
I mean, it really is.
It really just encapsulates you as a person. Sketch. Should we go over big Qs?
Let's do some BQs. I don't really have any.
I have a couple.
It's an ongoing series. So.
What the fuck was Dracula's endgame? Did he just want to ensure the end of the vampires and humans?
Yeah, I really
think...
Or
was Alucard right and it was the world's most pathetic suicide?
Oh,
Did he actually have an end game or did he not know what was going on?
I think it's a little bit of a mixture of both. I think he wanted to die, but I think he never believed he could. I think, I don't want to live in a world without Lauren, whatever her name is. But I'm not going to commit suicide and no one can ever kill me. I'm that godlike. So
I can't even kill myself.
Yeah. So instead, I'll just wipe out everybody.
Get my son to kill me and or destroy the world.
Yeah. I don't agree that it was like it was all set up to get Alucard riled up and because he was the only one that could kill him.
Okay.
I honestly think it was just like, I don't want to live in this world anymore because these humans suck and these vampires are douches. So I'm just going to kind of incite a war and watch them wipe each other out. And then I'll be alone like I've always wanted to be.
Some people just want to watch the whole world burn.
That's exactly it.
Okay. It's a good answer.
What do we do when we fall down, Master Bruce?
We learn to pick ourselves up.
My cocaine.
I'm sorry. Did you say your cocaine?
Yeah. If you say my cocaine really fast with like a Cockney accent, you just say my cocaine. This is not the Michael Caine episode.
It's not. Do you have a big Q?
I mean, I don't really have a big Q, only because, there are still mysteries going on.
Right.
But they're going to be uncovered, and they're natural. And I'm just excited to see – I'm really excited to see this partnership and how it will play out.
Okay, so here's my big question. How far ahead in time is season 3 going to jump? Because there's going to be a time jump.
Yeah.
And your answer might answer my second part.
I will go with 2 years.
2 years? You think that's it?
I don't think it's going to go that far.
Okay, so the follow-up to my question is, will we follow the descendants of Sypha and Trevor linking up with Alucard?
I don't think we're going to follow along with 2 newborns and Alucard.
Well, that's what I'm saying. How far ahead in time are we?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think... I mean, it is a nice ending of the story for Sypha and Trevor, so they could do that. I'm going to say they're not going to go that far ahead because I think they really set up the Forge Masters as big villains, and we need to see the end of their story. And I don't think they're going to get turned to vampires. I think they are going to maintain being humans.
Do they get to keep their powers if they get turned to vampires?
I don't know.
I'm going to go with no, or they would have turned them.
Yeah, they would have turned them perhaps. So based on the evidence of the Forge Masters and where they left the Forge Masters, I'm going to say it's not that big of a time jump, and it is only 2-3 years. Five max.
Okay.
Because Trevor's already rough around the edges.
Right.
He's beyond his prime in life.
Yes.
So, and we were only just starting to see him, get
Right.
back up there.
Into the positives.
So I think they know enough to know that, like, okay, we want to
and Richard
let's
Armitage,
ride that for a little bit.
Richard Armitage is just
Which
great.
one was that?
Trevor. Richard Armitage.
What would I know Richard Armitage from?
I don't know. I have to look it up.
Okay, but don't look it up. But did you know who played Alucard? Who did the voice of Alucard?
No.
It's funny that we brought up Battlestar Galactica earlier. Gaius from Battlestar Galactica is Alucard.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's great casting.
Yeah. Isn't that something?
Yeah. I did not know that.
Isn't that funny that we were talking about Battlestar Galactica and then you
Yeah.
just jogged my memory that I
There you go.
knew that? Yeah.
And you're the I don't know actors.
I don't know actors things. I don't know how I knew that. But then I looked it up and verified it because I heard that.
Yeah.
Or I saw that advertised.
I love
somehow.
that about animation and voiceover.
I
When
do
you
too.
hear someone's voice that you're like, oh, I know that voice. It was really like Young Justice Outsiders. Young Justice season 3's out. It's great hearing Zara's voice.
Yeah. Friend of the show.
Friend of the show.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And I'm like, it's like, that's her voice. Anyway.
Name dropping. Brag.
Yep.
I don't have any other big questions.
I don't either.
I'm just excited to see where he goes from here.
Me too. I'm in for season 3.
I'm
Looking
also in
forward
for
to it.
season 3. Do you know when it's out?
I do not.
No. Just been greenlit.
Just been greenlit.
Okay.
Okay, so that was a halfling.
Halfling. A Battlestar Galactica Castlevania. And you didn't even know, guys, did you know it was as related as...
I did not. I really didn't.
Yeah. See? Isn't that cool? So thanks for the recommendation on Castlevania. I honestly, this would have come and gone without me watching it.
Right.
So I'm glad it was recommended.
Yeah. So, guys, thank you for writing in. Dan, thank you for writing in and asking for Castlevania.
Yeah, it was a
And,
good rec.
Hope
Good
you
rec.
enjoyed our assessment of this world.
And if you disagree,
Write in and let us know.
let us know.
And I will tell you why you're wrong.
Or if you agree. Sometimes I like to know that people agree.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like I'm
Sure.
shouting into the void.
I won't actually tell you why you're wrong, guys.
That is a bald-faced lie. Is it bald-face or bold-face?
Sure. Either way, I think.
It's just a
at
big
this
old
point.
lie.
Yeah.
It's like your favorite pastime.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. All right. If you want to write into the show, you can email us at gowithshadesandsketch@gmail.com.
You can write to us on Facebook because that's where this recommendation came
Yes.
from. So just, Facebook
Geeking Out.
search Geeking Out.
Or Shades and Sketch.
Will pop up. Write to us there.
You can find us on Twitter at Shades and Sketch.
Or you can argue with Shades at Go for Shades.
And you can tell Sketch how much you appreciate him at Go for Sketch.
Yeah.
And
That's a good way to sum up
yeah, it really is.
our hosting positions. Yeah.
Guys, we do have a Patreon. It does cost us some scratch to host these episodes and keep them all up so that you can listen to them, our entire catalog. And I don't like filling the show with ads for things that I don't necessarily believe in. So we've got a Patreon. You can find it at patreon.com/shadesansketch. And really, we're looking to cover the cost of our audio hosting, and that's it. If you want to give us more than that, we're not going to say no. And maybe someday, Sketch, you and I can quit our jobs and just focus on the pod. But right now, that's the point of our Patreon. Some people asked about that. What was our goal? Our goal is to be able to get the podcast at cost neutral.
That'd be lovely.
It would be.
That would be lovely.
Yeah.
You know what it is I'm the cream cheese frosting to your carrot cake.
Yeah.
Because, who the fuck wants to eat a vegetable cake?
Well-
but then you put a little frosting on it, you're like,
Sure,
it's
but-
palatable.
Well, if you're lactose intolerant,
Yeah.
there's still something for you to eat at least.
Yeah. That's us.
The carrot cake. At least you've got some carrot. It's mealy and you don't really want to
Mealy
eat
is
it,
a
but
good way to put you.
at least you can
yeah.
have the experience of eating cake.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there's the frosting.
There's the frosting.
There's that frosting
which-
carrot on top.
Yeah. And that's me.
Yeah.
I make you palatable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like a metaphor for our whole relationship.
It really is. Guys, I'd also be appreciated to hear some more metaphors for our hosting.
Oh yeah, that
relationship.
would be great.
So
and maybe
send those in.
send those in.
There you go.
Hey,
All right.
Thanks for listening.
We'll see you next time.
See you next time.